I am an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, I'm Ricky, and I am an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic.
I was clearly an alcoholic, but I didn't recognize it. I refused to see it, And then, as we talked about previously, I had my rock bottom moment, so to say, and something finally woke up when I saw the look in my kids' eyes and my wife's eyes. I knew I was going to lose them, and then something finally woke up, and I haven't had a drink since, and that was 4.5 years ago. And 4.5 years ago, in addition to trying to get sober and finding our groups, and joining our little tribe of drunks, our Alcoholics Anonymous tribe. And I started doing, reading philosophy, lightly doing Tai Chi again, working on losing weight, things like that. And you can tell just by looking at me, I'm still a fat guy. I mean, I still weigh over 500 pounds, but I've lost 100 pounds. And kept off 100 pounds, and it's slowly coming down, and I've lost enough weight now that I can walk, a limited, it's tough, but I can walk, I can go places, I can drive, I can fit behind the wheel of a car again. So this opportunity to go see my mom is something I'm really grateful for. And I figured this would be the final test. I'd come out here. I got a friend of mine I'm traveling with. He's taken, his name's Chris, and he's a normie. He's not one of our tribe, but he's a friend, and he's taken time off work for the first time in, oh God, years. He's one of those cats, you know what I mean? Where he's like got all this vacation time stacked up to the point where his company's like, if you don't take it, you're going to lose it. So he took some time off, and then unfortunately, some of the people that he had made plans with had to cancel, and he was bummed. And I was like, well, I need to practice being on the road, and doing all the things that come with that. Would you like to take a quick run out to Chicago? Do a 2-day run out to Chicago. Now, for those people listening, I live in Iowa. I live in Northwest Iowa, so it's just a state over, but we took our time getting here. We drove up to Minnesota and cruised on over to Wisconsin, and then cruised on down to Illinois. I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, packing things up, getting ready to go. And we're going to go. My mission is I want to try a Chicago-style deep dish pizza in Chicago, and I want to get to the top of the Sears Tower. And those are my two missions. For me, getting to the top of the Sears Tower, having to walk a city block, go up in the building and stuff, that's a physical challenge for me. So if I can manage to make that work, I will feel pretty good about it. Plus, I'd love to see this. I can't wait to see if it all works out. I want to see that they have some glass windows up there or something that you can see the whole city out from. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a challenge. Like, I spent the night with a buddy who needed me, and I was gonna get a hotel room or something, and he's like, no, stay here. You should stay at my house. I have a queen size bed. And the first thing a guy like me has to think is, am I going to break your fucking bed? Pardon my language. Am I going to break your bed? I told him, as you know, Raymond, I try to be as straightforward and honest with people as I can. And I told him straight up, I was like, hey, I'm worried about breaking your bed. I don't want to bust your stuff, man. I don't want to sit on your couch. I check the strength of the chair before I sit down. I can't imagine trying, I don't want to bust people's stuff. And he's like, oh, knock it off. It's a oak solid frame bed. You'll be fine. So I gave it a shot, worked out well. I was like, okay, that's cool. Right on. I managed to do all of the, even doing, being real honest with everybody out there, even doing you could probably guess, doing the physical stuff that you can imagine, the day to day, getting dressed, showering, bathroom stuff. It's a challenge for a guy my size. I can do it. I do it all. I take care of all that business. But doing it on the road, at rest stops and, hotel rooms or, living out the back of my car kind of thing, that's a serious, that was how it was for me when I was in better shape. Many years ago, I traveled and shit, and I was fine. But now it's a physical challenge, in the old days, I'd have done something like, oh, I'll just sleep in the car. You know what I mean? Save money on hotel rooms. I'll just sleep in the car every day, live out of the car. And I still plan on doing that at least every other day or so I could save money on hotel rooms. But, I need to practice that. And I've been doing that. So I've just about got everything where I need it to be. I've got the car pimped out for everything I think I can need. I got all the safety equipment. I got, a place that I can sleep comfortably. I got, Wi-Fi, and I got phone chargers. I got all the crap I need. And that was a building process. And I got a little experience now driving again after being off the road for over a decade. I've got a level of comfort now with my I guess capabilities. I know I can do this. So I'm totally terrified of being on the road for 3 weeks, because that's kind of like what my plan is. I'll probably be on the road for 3 weeks. I'll stay at friends' houses. I'll visit with people, but I'll have to get a hotel room every once in a while. It's expensive and but it's worth it. It's worth it. If everything works out and I get to spend some time with my mom, maybe take her to dinner, take my aunt to dinner, see my brother, and get some closure. When I left California, I left kind of as a villain. I was an alcoholic. I was kind of a thug, and just generally a bad guy. And now that my life is in a place where I'm happy with myself, I'm on a better path and I'm getting better. Mentally and spiritually, I feel stronger than I've ever felt. I feel great. Physically, I'm getting there. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. And I guess for me, it's sort of a sense of closure to go back across country, see all those places again, see those people again, go home again. And I don't know if people can understand this, but for lack of a better way of putting it, let those places see me, just be there and be like, all right, I'm okay now, and I left with my tail between my legs as a bad guy, a villain. And now I'm coming back and, I'm okay. Okay. I'll sit in those places and I'll be all right. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you or if it makes any sense to anybody listening, but that's what I think I need. And that's what I'm going to do. And then the big bonus, the big cherry on top of that redemption Sunday or whatever you want to call it is the fact that I get to see my mom again. And that'll be awesome, So that's my battle plan, man. That's my battle plan. And this is the final test. This is my final exam before I hit the road in January, is doing this Sears Tower mission,
Yeah. I should have hit record, huh?
Well, that would have sucked.
No,
Did you not?
No, I did. I just missed the first couple minutes. I thought we were going to do a little catch up. And
oh, sorry, man. I don't know how all this stuff works.
No, because... All right, everyone, welcome to the show. We're joined again with BD Zack. Last time I had to work you up to get to talk, and you jump in, and you're full bore today, man. And it's like I'm talking a whole different person today.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a year ago. I didn't, I don't know, you and Marcus and a lot of the cats that we have our little tribe with have taught me a lot, man. And I took your advice to heart. you had mentioned last time, hey, maybe you should talk to people, maybe, be a motivational speaker or whatever. I haven't crossed that bridge, but I did open up more, as you can tell, because I'm just rambling on now. I thought that I was being completely open and honest with anybody who asked, and I was, but there was a deeper level that I had not allowed myself to share. There was more there that I didn't realize was there that needed to come out, and I didn't realize could help people. But a year ago, I think it was a year ago, we did this, right?
I would have to check the date, but yes,
It
pretty
was a while
close.
back, but I think it was a year ago we did this. After this and after, sharing more in our group and stuff, you were right, man. Some people contacted me and they just wanted to talk, and we talked. And, they asked me about me, and I told them the truth. And I asked them about them, and I believe they told me the truth. And both sides, just like you said, I gained from it as much as I gave from it, and it made a lot of difference, which is why I built up the courage to be able to share the physical part of my life, the whole being so fat that I was a shut-in. The fact that I've lost enough weight now to start getting out in life again. The struggles I'm having with it, it's and everything, and the fact that I'm still sober, and I'm still moving forward, and I've been open to people, and it's made a huge difference. It's made a huge difference in it. And I've embraced what you said. I want to help people. I want to help people as much as they've helped me. So I've done my best to answer calls when they come, to write back to people, to reach out to people, like you and like some other cats, and tell them, hey, I hear where you're coming from. And hey, if anything that I've experienced can help you out, here's the shit I went through, and it has been overall a positive response. There's been a positive response from all of it. And, as you can see and hear right now, like you said, man, I jumped right into it. It's only because I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling alive, and I got my Zen, I'm balanced, and I'm so fucking grateful for it. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, I'm doing a lot better. I got a long road ahead still. There's always more. We're always works in progress. I know I'm a work in progress, and I got a long road ahead, but I have hope. And that's what I was barely grasping onto a year ago. It's like I had hope a year ago. I knew I was doing well and everything, but everything was still guarded. Guarded. Yeah, that's the word. I was still guarded in many ways.
Let me jump
Now,
in here real quick though.
yeah, please.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
the first time we talked, you were also your health issues was almost kind of like a doctor labeled you with like a grim outlook, and it's like
Yeah.
now you're overcoming it, and now you're moving forward, and it's like you kept fighting and you didn't give up, and you stayed sober during this fight. And when when I first came into the rooms and stuff like that, you always keep hearing things get gooder and gooder and better and all that. And I'm like, when? What? When? And you're like a living
Yeah.
testament of it right now. I mean, it's
Well, thanks, man.
everything's improving, and that now we're here having this conversation. But
I mean, I'm still a
that's where we
500
left.
pound dude, but I'm happier. I'm still struggling. Sugar is a motherfucker, but my wife and I get along great now. When we used to fight all the time, the kids, I've won their love and respect back, and that's huge. I have a son from a previous marriage who's 31 years old out there, And when I said I left California 15 years ago as a villain, I was, a bad enough guy that my own son wanted nothing to do with me. And he still wants nothing to do with me. But I have reached out to him. A couple of years ago, I reached out to him. He told me the best thing you could do is never contact me again. That was hurt. That hurt. It almost drove me to drink, to be honest with you. But I didn't. And I wrote him again, telling him I'm taking this trip and that I will be passing through his state, and that I would very much like a chance to just sit and have, just lunch with him or something. And just that's all I asked. And hopefully he didn't send back anything mean yet, and it's been a few weeks. So he hasn't said yes or no, but he didn't attack me. So, I'm hopeful. And that was something I thought would never happen. And you mentioned my health. For those people listening, 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure and a bubble on my left atrium that was going to blow out at any time. And my doctors told me I had like 5 years to live. I didn't take it well. I went deeper into the bottle, and that led to the weight gain and more of the weight gain and the drawing away from society, from the family. You people out there, you all know it. You know the story. Getting into that bottom of a bottle and waiting to die. That's where I was at. But here we are, 7 years later, 4.5 of those years sober. And I guess it was about maybe 6 months ago, I was getting my, checking in with my doctor. And I asked the doctor, like, 2 years past my expiration date, according to, my previous doctor. I'm still alive, man. Not that I'm bitching, I'm happy to still be here, but,
Yeah.
but, every day to me is like the Grim Reaper sitting over my shoulder, and every little palpitation or flutter, it makes me think I turn into Red Fox. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Here it comes. And I was afraid to work out or anything because they told me don't exert yourself too much because of the heart condition. So, obviously getting fatter without being able to really shake it off and everything. And so she's like, let's do some more tests and see where you're at. So they had me go back and do all the tests again. And she calls me up like a week later. She says, you need to come in and talk to me. And when a doctor says you got to come in and talk to me, you're like, fuck. So I was like, me and my wife went in and we sat down, and she did the whole serious sit down thing. And then she told me, she goes, okay, well, I've got some news. And I was like, okay. And she said two things that blew me away. My mother uses the word miracle. She said to me, I think they may have misdiagnosed congestive heart failure. And that growth you have on your upper left atrium has shrunk to such a degree that it's barely noticeable. They barely can see it on the, EKG scan, whatever they call those things. And I was like, what does that mean? And she goes, Zach, your heart's okay, man. Your heart can, you've got it, for the most part, your heart's okay. And I was like, what does that mean? Can I go walking now? Can I go do stuff? Can I get back into, heavier stuff than just some light Tai Chi, And she's like, yeah, I think you can. And I said, can I go see my mother? And she's like, I think you can handle that physically now. And she commended me for the work I had done and told me to keep it up. And I've been trying. And man, to me, that was okay. I'll use, even though a lot of us are atheists and stuff, as I am, I'll use my mom's word miracle. For me, it was like a new lease on life. And it was the culmination, I guess, of all the work I have done. And obviously, being sober must have taken a lot of pressure off my heart, all that, not someone, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not eating as much, junk, and I'm drinking more water, and my body turns around and goes, "Okay, dumbass, look, you're being healthier. Here's the result." you know, and it's yeah, man, it blows my mind. So that was my big happy news, and the first thing I did, dude. You might even remember the very first thing I did is when we had, my next Thursday meeting, which was the day after I got that news. I couldn't wait to get in there and share it with the tribe, man, with our guys, and with all of our people, our peeps. And it felt so damn good to open up, and I got emotional, but it's good emotional. And I shared that with everybody, and I had really good responses from people, and apparently it helped some other people feel good about shit they were going through. And that's what it's all about to me, is getting that hope from you all, and sharing my hope with all our people. So yeah, man, I can't speak higher of. I mean, it's like I said, it's been a year since we spoke doing this thing, and it's been a lot of trials and tribulations. There have been some downs. There's been some down moments. There's been some rough moments, but I haven't given up hope. And every time I'm hurting and I'm struggling, I have our tribe to reach out to. I have you. I have Marcus. I have everybody in the Thursday group. I've got Michael and Roger and all these people that earnestly give a shit. And it's mind blowing, and not to belittle my family, of course. My family's there, and my wife is solid as a rock. But and I think you all know this, as much as they love us, and I love my wife and family, and there's some of the shit they cannot understand, but we can. We understand each other. We know what it's like. We know what this monkey's like. And as much as my wife tries to understand what's going on in my head and heart in that regard, she's wise enough to know that she doesn't get it completely. And she's grateful. She's even grateful that I have, our people to turn to, our AA people to turn to, our group. I call it our tribe, because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like I belong to a tribe. I've always been real reserved using the words family or friend. I don't have a lot of friends, people, because to me, friend and family are almost synonymous. But once I opened up, I found I do have a lot of great people that, like yourself, you right there are a potential friend to me, somebody I can see a friendship in, somebody I can see a connection with. And we've talked, and I feel solid about that. And I feel good talking to you, and I feel trust talking to you. And it's from the world I came from before to this world now, it's black and white, man. So thank you, man, for allowing me to have this opportunity, and for being there to help me out. The shit you've said to me, when you said to me, Zach, you're an important part of my own recovery now, it shook me, dude. When you said it a year ago, it shook me. I didn't know how to take that. It felt like, how? Why? What the fuck did I do? I don't get it. But I think I get it now. And you too. You have been a huge part of my recovery, Raymond.
I appreciate you saying that, man. It's and I'm glad. I was ready to hang it up, man, because it was just getting stagnant, and I was resting on my laurels. And someone goes, "You need to get back doing your show," and I'm like, "Yeah, I probably do." No, you really do. That's why I'm here, and I'm like, well, that does make sense. And that was just like sitting here hearing this. It's just means a lot to me, man. It's because the one thing you brought up, you bring up about saying it's hard to, the difference between friends and family and calling people friends and stuff like that. I either, I'm not sure if I've spoke about it like on the show or if it was in group settings, but like you look at the past and you look at the people you hang around with and all these phases through my life. It's our lives. You look to the past. Are we around any of those people that we were doing that stuff all up until now? And who do we surround ourselves with now? And who do we talk to? And who's going to pick up the phone and give a damn about what we have to say? And whether it's because they know how important it is to pick up that phone and talk to each other.
Exactly.
And
like what you're doing, man, as you could tell, I hope you can see how much of a difference you're making to me. I mean, look at this. A year ago, you said it yourself. You can tell where I was a year ago, and it was a good place. After all the shit I'd been through in my life, I was in a decent place. But now look at me. I mean, I'm not at the finish line. I don't think we ever get to the finish line. I'm still a work in progress. I got a long way to go, but I'm fucking happy, man. I'm hopeful. And it's guys like you that has helped me do that, man, So don't ever give up that hope, man. You call me, God damn it, before you ever give up that hope. If you're feeling that way, call me. You got my number. Call me any fucking time, day or night. I think what you're doing with your podcast and what you're doing with the meetings and stuff, I fucking honor you for that, because I don't think you realize, or maybe you do, but maybe not to the degree I think you do. I don't think you realize just how impactful you've been for me in giving me this opportunity, and that opportunity a year ago, and how impactful I've listened to your other, to everybody else that you've talked to. I've listened to the other people you've talked to, and I've listened to people talk about what you're doing, and it has been, you really have an impact. I don't think I could, let me rephrase that. A year ago, I thought I couldn't do what he's doing. I couldn't do it. When you said you should go and you mentioned something about a circuit and you're like, you should go talk to people. You should be a motivational speaker. I was like, that felt like an alien freaking concept to me. I jumped back from that like a cat from water, and now it's like I've eased towards it, and I was like, damn, maybe it feels good to reach out and be able to know I'm having an impact. And you, dude, are having a huge impact, and you've inspired me to do a little bit more, to try harder. I have been reaching out to people. I have been talking to people and saying, hey, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what it entails, but if I can come talk to your group, I would like to. If something I've experienced will help your people, I want to come do it. And some people have been responsive, and I would never have considered that or thought of that if it wasn't for you and giving me that advice.
Well, if no one lets you, then that's their own loss. I mean, anyone willing to share, that's power. That's power right there, because it's like I said at the get-go of this when we first met. It doesn't matter if it affects a whole group. It's that one person. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had a guest on here. He does motivational speaking. I'm gonna get you in touch with him.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So, because if you're still interested in that, I could probably get you in contact with him, and maybe he can give you some pointers or whatever. But I'm glad you're getting out and putting yourself out there like that, because it's.
Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate it.
And just to hear the impact I've had on you, that just makes me feel so good, man. Makes me feel so good.
You deserve it, my friend. You do. You really do. One of these days, where are you at?
I'm in
what state you in?
Ohio, the armpit of America.
Ohio, that's not that far, man. I might come and visit your ass right now because I'm moving and I'm out. Maybe this spring or summer I might come east because I'd like to see the. I think I told you I want to see the Atlantic seaboard. I've never been to the Atlantic. Well, from where I'm at to the Atlantic, I can go right through Ohio. So I think maybe you and I'll have some lunch or something at some point if
Oh
that's all right
yeah,
with you.
yeah. That's of course, man. I've met so far. It's been one person I had on the show. I've met, but I've met other people that I've met on online, and that's so powerful to see someone face to face with this. And I get choked up, And last time I did it, I went and they were like at this. It was Wayne Rivas. He's the singer of A Killer's Confession. He came on the show, so I drove up to one of his shows. Me and the wife went, and he's running around doing his rock star thing, and I'm like, oh, it looks like we're not going to get to hang out or anything because he's busy. But he's like, yeah, get a hold of me, and I'll come back on the show and all that. Real humble guy and all that. But it was just like it was so powerful. I'm like standing in this giant venue, and I'm like, oh, there he is, and I'm like tearing up, and he's just smiling and being humble, and he's just like, yeah, reach out to me, and I'm like, I appreciate it. And, but then every September, one of the guys from the guy that founded one of the many past meetings I go to, he comes down and visits, and we eat lunch, and and I'm working on meeting up with a couple from the R2 group as well that I spend a lot of time with. I mean, it's
cool, man.
It's man, it's yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we'll have lunch, man. Of course it'll be all right.
Dude, can you imagine in our old lives ever even picturing this stuff, man? I mean, I can't even, it's like I look back on my old life and I think, like so many of us think, if the me today could meet with the me of the old day, man, my old self wouldn't have even fathomed all of the stuff that's changed, and I'm so damn blown away by this new avenue of life that has opened up to me. And whether I live another 50 years, that would be great. Or whether I'm done in 50 days, it doesn't matter anymore because I've reached a point now where I ain't perfect. I got ways to go, but if I do end up having to check out early, I think I can do it with a level of peace that I never would have had otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is like I said, man, it's mind blowing, and you're a big part of that.
I like the part where you're like myself now get our past selves, but would our past selves listen to us?
My past self would have kicked my current self's ass. My past self would have said, "Listen, you preachy motherfucker, get out of my face," and whooped my ass. And,
it's just...
and I'd have probably felt more sorry for him than myself at this point. If I ran into my old self, he'd be probably drunk, belligerent, rolling with bikers, trying to be hard. And if the me of today came up to him and said, "Dude, hey, this is what's coming down, and I wish for you this, and and I wish I could show you how much better life could be," I don't think I'd have gotten those many words out before my old self would have clocked me, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, look at, my old self versus me now. I don't even recognize myself. I never would have spoken to somebody like this openly. I never would have been, able to even get in touch with some of this shit. I still have nightmares. I still have, the PTSD stuff to deal with. I still have, stuff that I have to deal with mentally. But the thing is, man, I can deal with it now. I used to drink myself to sleep so that I would get blackout drunk so I wouldn't have dreams. And when I first got sober, I had to face all those demons. I had the nightmares and I had the ghosts, and I couldn't hide from them behind the booze. And it was fucking hard. It was breaking back hard. I so desperately wanted to reach out to that booze and pull it back in and hide in it. And I had to have the courage not to. And if it wasn't for the fact that I finally got up the courage to pick up that fucking phone, how did my friend put it? Michael, he put it something like, it's hard to pick up that 1-ton phone, or what have you. I can't. I'm sure I'm blowing his quote.
Well, there's several different ways people say that. Some people call it a 400-pound phone, 2-ton phone, 10,000.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're saying.
Exactly. And that right there, Raymond, that's what makes our tribe work. You knew exactly what I'm saying. And there are people listening to us right now who know exactly what we're saying. It was so goddamn hard to pick up that phone. I could hear voices in my head saying, you don't have any right to call up these people at 2:00 in the morning, wake them from their slumber, fuck up their work day that's coming up, possibly wake up their kids. You're an asshole for laying your bullshit on them, even though they've asked you to, even though they said you can do it anytime. You can't believe that you don't have any right to fuck up their lives with your bullshit. And it took a lot of strength, courage, and humility, honestly, to have the courage to pick up that phone and actually call somebody and say, listen, I am struggling to sleep because I want to hide in the booze because I sleep and I have nightmares so bad that I would do anything to not face that right now. And I really want to get fucking blackout drunk so I can just at least sleep. And to have someone on the other side of that phone say, I know what you mean, man. I get you. Tell me about it. That was huge. So for those people out there that are feeling the same thing I felt, maybe you're early in your recovery. Maybe you have the nightmares I have. And maybe you are sitting there and you're hearing those voices say, fuck you. You don't got no right to fuck up everybody else's life by calling them. Do it anyway. Fuck those voices. Do it anyway. Call them. Pick up a phone. Call and say, hey man, how are you? I'm not doing all that great, and see what they say. I think you will be, as I was, gratefully surprised, and if you're part of my tribe and you want to reach out to me, I will do my best to pick up that phone, and I will do my best to return that email, and I will do my best to listen and to respond and tell you the same thing that meant so much to me in those early months and years, was yeah, I get you, man. Just like Raymond said to me just now, he gets me. I referenced that phone quote. He knew exactly what the hell I'm talking about. That matters, man. That's the magic of our group. It's the magic of our tribe. I think that's something my wife can respect. My wife can respect that. If I was talking to her about the same thing we're talking about right now with the phone and all that, I think she can kind of understand it, and she can respect my fear and trepidation on that. But it's not something that she internally knows instinctively like you just did when I mentioned it. You're like, exactly how that feels. And I guess knowing how something feels to that depth is a uniqueness. And I think it's one of the keys of why why what we do works, because we're not just saying, yeah, call me up and talk and, blow off some steam. I'll be your vent. Yes, that's all true. Yes, we do that. But it's a deeper level. It's something where we actually understand each other. Yeah. So it's It's that does it for me. You know, there's some guys in our group who are, decades sober. They're my, that makes me go, wow, dude, that this dude's been sober for like 35 years and he's still coming to the meetings. And I've asked him, why are you still coming to these meetings? You're like 35 years sober. And some of them say, I still feel the temptation from time to time, but, and a lot of them say, because this is what does it for me. This is what keeps me going. And a lot of them don't say out loud, but I see it in their eyes. They get, like you said, they get as much out of helping us as we get from them. They get something out of it. Somebody, I don't know if it was you or Marcus or somebody said to me, it's good selfish, and I'm paraphrasing, but they said it's good selfish. Maybe it was Evan. He said, dude, I'm helping you because I'm selfish. I'm like, the hell does that mean? And he goes, no, it's selfish. I'm doing this from, because by me helping you, Zach, I feel good. I feel real good knowing I've had some help. I've helped you. And that's a selfish thing. I want to be, I want to help myself, and knowing I've had an impact on you today makes me feel good for the day. And that gets me through. And I went, shit, that makes sense. That really makes sense. It's a good, I know there's got to be a better word than selfish, but it's good selfish. I can feel good about reaching out to Raymond. I can feel good about reaching out to whoever and saying, I get you. And let me tell you where I come from. And then you tell me where you come from. And let's find some common ground. Because when I get off the phone, like when we wrap this up, right, I'm going to be able to turn around, take a deep breath, get back into my daily routine, but know that there is the potential that our conversation here that goes out over your podcast might reach somebody, likely will reach somebody who needed to hear it. And I had something to do with that. God, that feels good, and that's kind of the magic of it, in my humble opinion. And on that note, my friend, nature is calling. Maybe it's time we wrap this up.
All right, man. No, it's infectious. It's the power of two. It's the connection. The opposite of addiction is connection. I mean, those are my big proponents and stuff like that, and that's what I speak about when I go share in an outside meeting and stuff like that. When I'm the outside guy, and it sparks so much conversation. And man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you reached out.
For giving me the opportunity.
I'm gonna have you come back on after you do your journey. Let you get your thoughts together, gathered, and we'll follow up with that. And
hey, one more quick thing about my journey, about this little quest I'm going on, this little pilgrimage, whatever you want to call it. There was a couple of cats who wanted to help me out financially, and I appreciate that deeply. Thank you. It took me a lot to even consider taking on that help, but I don't like taking charity and stuff. So which is stupid. I know it's we're helping each other, and it's all right. So I've opened up to that, but I wanted to give something back, and what I'm going to do is, and kind of taking a page out of your book a little bit. I'm horrible with text. I don't know how the hell it's going to work out, but I'm going to maybe record a couple little videos here and there. I'm going to write in my journal. I'm going to post some stuff on Facebook every day during my journey. Just let people know how I'm feeling, what's going on. Maybe put up some pictures, and just share that with our people, And I'm going to probably do it through Facebook or something, because I don't know all the other tech stuff. And anybody who wants to, ride along with me in that regard, it's share my journey with me. Whether you help me out or not, I don't care about that. Just if you wanna follow my journey with me, find me on Facebook at I think it's BD Zack at Facebook or whatever. I'm BD Zack on Facebook. So If you find me, and you want to follow along with my journey, hit me up. I'll friend you, and I think that's what they call it, friend you, and you can, see what's going on with me. I'd love that, because it's kind of like a way for people to take this journey with me. It's nice to have people to call and talk to while I'm on the road, and I'm gonna try to, if I happen to be crossing your territory, I'm going through your state or something, and I get a chance. There's a few people that want to meet up with me, and I'm gonna stop, have lunch with them, or what have you. I think it'll be, it's nice it's like a way for everybody to have the journey with me. It's like I got company in the car. You know what I mean? So if y'all want to find me and join, share this with me, I invite you to do so, and hopefully it will work out well, and I'll get what I need out of it. And maybe if we're all lucky, maybe some other people will get something out of it too. I'd feel really good about that.
I will add all that to the show notes.
Thanks,
And
man.
I got a couple ideas I'll reach out to you for. Maybe we can do some short episode things and combine it together like a little mini series through the podcast.
Cool, dude. I didn't even think about that.
got
It's an awesome
a
idea.
couple ideas to throw it out there. So, but I'm gonna let you go answer the call of nature, because I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Dude, love you, man. I
They
appreciate
got me
you.
on to get lose weight, man. They catch you real quick. They go, hey man, you gotta go.
I gotta reach out to Marcus. I gotta get him back on this show too. He thinks he
Yeah,
doesn't
he's a
have
cool
anything,
cat.
and I
That
say,
cat right
"Shut
there
up,
has
get
done a
on
lot for
here."
me too.
So yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. Thank you, Raymond, for letting me come on here. This is a great opportunity. And seriously, all this Joe stuff aside, I hope that you'll call and reach out to me if you do feel shaky, man. I'd be honored.
Appreciate it, man.
All
Appreciate
right,
it. Safe
you be
travels.
well.
I'll hear from you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Take care.
All right, brother. You too.
Bye.